This is my first recording with the S8, and video effects are absolutely amazing. Look how entertained I am to buy this thing. Kawaii des! Flashback to when you played yourself and the sad memories that you have. I haven't done a car video in a very long time. So, today I want to talk about when you play yourself and you've only got yourself to blame, boy. Boy, oh boy. So, every person in the world, whether or not you are good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Or you're incredibly terrible at Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 times out of 10 you're going to try to blame the loss on your opponent. Obligatory, he had this, or he had that, or I couldn't fucking do jack fucking shit. You're right, because you probably suck at Yu-Gi-Oh! The moral importance of this video is to constantly remind everyone that we all fucking suck at Yu-Gi-Oh! No matter what we do, because it's a game that, unfortunately, not a lot of us can really deal with. And one of the unfortunate sides of the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the luck that comes with it. And let's be completely honest, guys. You've had a lot of situations in this game you probably can't get yourself out of. And that goes good and bad. There'd be some scenarios where you'll be able to outplay your opponent, and there'll be other scenarios where your opponent just blatantly outplays you. But can you learn from these mistakes? At the end of the day, if you're playing, God, just like train wreck thoughts. You go into a game, you're like, all right, this is my game plan. You open up your opening 5 cards. You ask yourself the first question: do I want to make a board? Do I not want to make a board? Is it worth it to be passive? Do we have 1 trap card to set? Is it even worth it to set that 1 particular trap card? That's the first thing. So if you opt to make a board, then you gotta make sure that board is unbreakable, because if that board ends up getting broken, your matchup's gonna be incredibly worse. Making a board of Hammer Kong Trident isn't necessarily the strongest thing, but you'll at least know that your 1 pop will be protected, at least. But the thing that is really interesting mostly about these games is your castle unbreakable? Yes, no. And let's be completely real here, guys. Unbreakable castles, they'll crumble. Ophion Safe Zone, people thought it was a good idea. It crumbled. So back to the train of thought here with your opening hand. So you opt to make a board, try to Hammer Kong, your opponent outs it. Can you mount a comeback, or is it game over for you? That's why I think board lights they're essential. Raigeki Dark Hole, Kaiju Slumber, they're both cards that can clear boards and essentially put you back into the game. Now the next question: does your opponent have back row? Is there a D barrier waiting in the wakes for you? Are you about to get fuck diddly ucked by some shit-tastic back row? There's all these scenarios that you have to question, and unfortunately we can't run down every little scenario. So what happens when you take the L? You got fuck diddly ucked, and now you're either going to do one of 3 things. You're going to go into the bathroom and cry like a little girl, because we've all done it. Like, God fucking damn it. You're going to go tell all of your friends that your opponent fuck diddly ucked you, or you're going to shut the fuck up and walk away from the table with your tail in between your legs, angry AF. Then probably go to the bar. It's in the hotel lobby at the event, and you're going to get wasted, because that's just how you do things. The more common story, though, is you're going to walk up to your friends. You're going to start telling them, my opponent had the literal nuts. We lost. Or, dude, he had fucking everything. I can't believe that asshole had Solemn Strike. Like, even in my own soul, it'd be like fucking Pot of Desires into double Reckless Greed and do another Reckless Greed. Like, How fucking good can you actually be at this game? You know, then other people just chalk it up to, oh, he must be fucking cheating me. I cut your deck. I dealt myself my own fate, you know. I was taking the D, you know, as soon as I cut your deck to where it was. I can only blame myself for the randomization that I dealt to myself. That is the harsh reality of the desires into reckless into reckless. Cut the deck, did it to myself. You know, it's the same thing with a few scenarios. You know, some losses you can't control. You know, some scenarios your opponent just has the absolute nuts. Excellent example of this, locals, Thursday night. I had the Mask of Restrict Dryden. I would set to back row with Mask. Made Dryden, Hammer Kong went. He had double diagram after the Dryden popped the 1. And it just kind of all went downhill from there. You know, there's scenarios where, you know, Mask of Restrict, Dryden, Hammer Kong, it's okay. It is. But the scenario of, you know, you were able to out the Mask of Restrict, there's not much I can do at this point. And it's, you know, you can argue that it was my fault for having to rely on Mask of Restrict, but, you know, when you're playing against True Draco, there's only really so much that you can do before it just all downhill from there. So guys, question of the day. Do you guys learn from your losses, or do we sulk about them? Capiche? I would hope for this community that the player base will take time and really adapt and learn from said mistakes. And you can only get so much better by not listening to what you need to be. And when I say that, I mean, like, if you're gonna sit here and play ignorant the entire time about your losses, then you're not gonna grow as a player, and that really fucking sucks to say, because you're only hurting yourself. And honestly, getting better at Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's about admitting your losses and trying to learn from them. You know, in turn 1 build boarding scenarios, you know, you need to decide, hey, do I want to go all out here, or do I hold back and make another attempt to make another play, or, you know, do I make the Emerald? Do we make the Dweller turn 1? I don't know what my opponent has in the, you know, I don't know what my opponent's playing. So, Emerald or Dweller? You know, that might be the hardest question you'll ever have to ask yourself in the scenarios. But did you make the right call? Did you make the right read? You know, did you get punished for not making that read? You know, are you going to be a better player to make these reads in the future because of these scenarios? Those are all things you're gonna have to ask yourself. Honestly, I would probably make the blind Emerald as an attempt to try to alleviate game state. You know, it seems like it would be a general good idea if you don't know what your opponent's doing. I mean, if your board is so terrible that if you think making the Dweller with the Trident is the correct move, then do it. You're only gonna have yourself to answer to in that scenario. So, learning 101: misplays and losses. Some of them can leave massive emotional scars on our lives. Some of them we'll remember for a long time to come. It depends on how far in depth you are in Yu-Gi-Oh! And today's video has been brought to you by Dairy Queen. Always wetting the chops in the video. So outside of that, yeah, you guys have any losses that have emotionally scarred you, misplays that you refuse to learn from? Let's be real, we've all got that loss that we refuse to admit. The mine is my triple Bababoom Takum Tumborg Lunalight Black Sheep hand. Man, it was so bad I had to remember it. Who the fuck opens that shit? You know, like, I power shuffled my deck, handed it to my friend cut it, hands me it back. I get fucking 3 Bababoons, a fucking Black Sheep, and a fucking Takum Tumborg. Like, I'm so glad this fucking format's over in a few days, because fucking no one needs to fucking feel that bullshit. Like, that's a burn from hell. Like, that's the worst hand I've ever opened up. Fucking goddamn Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, guys, I'm out. Deuce the fucking Renos. The ride never ends, guys. Make sure you enable those notifications to get the latest videos that are being posted on this channel. Make sure you guys check out VanCole40 for my Cardfight Vanguard channel. And join me and House of Champions on the Zodiac Duelist TV Twitch stream. We'll be interacting with our audiences. And please check out No Limit Gaming and LGTCG.com for the cheapest trading cards on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and please have a good day.